In today's video, we're going to talk about Godzilla X Kong 3. There's no actual official title, but they're about to shoot this movie this coming summer, and we're getting so close. So I want to talk about the Godzilla X Kong 3 leaks and how potentially this movie is ultimately setting up the end and the reboot of the Kaiju Monsterverse in some kind of roundabout way. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Watch you here if you're new around here. Make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture based content I try to cover on a daily basis. If you could, subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know how freaking excited are you for Godzilla -1 sequel, although that's not the official title. We've got the Legacy of the Monsters TV show, and we've also got the King Kong, which is Godzilla X Kong, the theatrical movie. So, if you're new around here, go over to Instagram, follow me over there if you want to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And check us out on Twitter, Warstu. Right, let's get into it. So, I've covered a lot of information to do this movie. I've covered a lot of information that nobody else has. But I'm not firing shots here, lads. But I can see people using my information, which is cool. But, like, when people are saying, oh, it's going around the internet, no, it's not. Because I've been talking about certain things that only I have the information to, and it came from me. So just, you know, say it came from me. I don't really care, to be honest. So let's go over some information and how this does realistically change everything. Because we've been building up to this whole humans trying to take out the Titans for a while now. Realistically, ever since the first Godzilla movie, realistically, it's about the humans wanting to take out or take over or control for their own gain. Hence why we got Mecha-Godzilla in Godzilla vs. Kong. That was the humans trying to make a cybernetic version of a Titan that could take out Godzilla versus Kong. And it's never going to happen. But in this movie, it seems like the main narrative is attacking the Hollow Earth, trying to take out all the Titans down there, meaning the different gorillas, the different Kongs, and annoying the Alpha Titans down there. And hell, there's like Doug, etc. There's some Alpha Titans down there that realistically, we don't even know who's down there because we've not seen everything yet. And Legacy of the Monsters Season 1 played into that as well because they went down there for that as well. So we're briefly going to have to go over some stuff. We won't go over the whole thing. So allegedly the movie is set after the devastation battle in Rio. Monarch as an agency is effectively dissolved by the leaders of the world after their perceived failure to report and prevent a potential world-ending Titan like Shimo from breaching the service and establishing a global defense. Initially with a radical anti-Titan agenda, the organization believes Titans are an extraterrestrial threat to humanity and aims to eradicate them all. Well, they are realistically, and that's nothing new. They've been building up to this. So regardless to the consequences, their plan is to subdue and exterminate the Titans already living on the surface, then destabilize and collapse the Hollow Earth as its vortexes uses experimental seismic weapons, and presumably they're not happy about that, as they wouldn't be. So the anti-Titan task force launch a daring operation infiltrating the Hollow Earth. They implement the attack on Kong, Shimo, and the Great Apes using advanced anti-Titan weaponry and cybernetic enhanced monsters, which could be scroll crawlers. And this is where everyone seems to think we're going to get a Mecha Godzilla or a Mecha Warstu or a Mecha Kong or some variants of that. And some people seem to think it's going to be Destroyah. But if it's a cybernetic anti-Titan, it's not going to be Destroyah. Although some people seem to think that will be the case. So it goes on to say, Kong battles violently, but is overwhelmed and watches fellow apes fall. Shimo is subdued, which is a bit weird, right? Because Shimo was the whole villain in the last movie, and now it seems like she can get bodied left, right, and center. So it goes on to say, Kong battles violently, but is overwhelmed and watches as fellow apes fall. Shimo is subdued before Kong can be captured himself as a group of rogue Monarch agents acting against the world leaders' orders give Kong and what's left of the Great Apes a chance to escape. So obviously there's always humans going to work alongside the Titans. During the ensuing chaos, a hidden layer is unsealed and unearthing a massive egg in a nest composed of glowing blue energy, believing it holds the key to further understanding and weaponizing. stronger Titan's DNA based on energy readings, and a new task force seizes the egg, now emitting a strange signal, and it's loaded onto an anti-gravity ship and flown away. Now, we all know, okay, careful spoilers, the theft doesn't go unnoticed as Godzilla's battling through anti-Titan weaponry. On the surface, senses the distress signal and is consumed by rage. So Godzilla kind of will go a bit evil in this movie, but not really the villain. And like anything witnessed before, he sets his sight on mankind, no longer protector, but a vengeful god. Godzilla has his wits end, forsaking humanity, seeing them as the true plague upon Earth. His atomic breath caves a path of destruction that rips across the coastal city, reducing military firepower and humans' settlements to ash. Nothing seems capable of stopping his wrath as he journeys. Because it's a baby Godzilla, that's why he wants the egg. Kong is torn. He understands Godzilla's pain, witnessing to humanity's cruelty firsthand against his fellow Titans, and he empathizes with Godzilla's desire to protect its young, a mirror of his bond with Gia and now Suku. But he also sees the potential for global annihilation of Godzilla's war with mankind continues unchecked. He faces a impossible choice: stand with humanity, given in its flawed alliteration, or join Godzilla in his destructive crusade, potentially condemning the world to Titan rule future, which, I mean, it would be cool. So it goes on to say, forced into an uneasy alliance for survival, Godzilla and Kong and the Earth's monsters must rally together to stand against this overwhelming anti-force Titan threatened to unleash a sinister weapon empowered by the stolen DNA of now newly hatched Titan egg, with the fate of humanity in its coexistence with Titans hanging in the balance. So this is why I don't think it's Destroyah, because I don't think Destroyah is going to be created from a baby Godzilla egg. Let's be honest. So this movie does set the balance up. It sets the stage up to essentially end the Kaiju Monsterverse, but also make it so much better. So obviously Godzilla fans have been convinced and wanted Destroyah ever since the Oxygen Destroyer burning Godzilla, part of Godzilla King of the Monsters, and they assumingly want to garner some rage because Godzilla fans really want Destroyah, and so do I. But I think the reason we haven't got that character yet is because it's going to cost Legendary Pictures a hell of a lot of money to license that character out with Toho. Is because Destroyah is like the Thanos of the Marvel Universe. I know what you're going to say, but that didn't end it. Well, it realistically did end it for a while. I mean, they literally had to bring RDJ back. So whenever you get the biggest kind of kaiju that unites the Monsterverse fan, which gets the highest box office, are they going to keep bringing that character back? Now, I know people want the likes of Rodan to return and Mothra to come back again. And yeah, it does somewhat say Mothra is going to be in it. But if I was a betting person, I would say Destroyah could potentially be like being lined up, not necessarily for this movie, but for either Godzilla X Kong 4 or 5, because let's be honest, they're going to keep making this money as long as people keep watching it. So it's whatever's this anti-Titan, whatever the anti-Titan is essentially going to be the villain. And Godzilla wants to steal the egg back because it's essentially going to be a newborn Godzilla. Now, we know Trapper's in the movie, which is interesting, very interesting. So Trapper's field of expertise leads him to taking care of it whilst Godzilla and the anti-Titan agency close in to recover the baby Titan. There's a game to keep away, so to speak, and a custody battle of Godzilla Jr. between the anti-Titan agency, Monarch, and Godzilla. Whether the final battle involves a new built Titan like Mecha-Godzilla, Mecha-Warstu, Mecha-King Ghidorah, or a new Titan just like Destroyah without calling it Destroyah, we don't know. But the movie will end in some variants of Monarch returning the baby Titan to Godzilla, and they both heartwarmingly return to the ocean. So instead of Godzilla going off by himself, Godzilla's going to go off with his little friend. And I think this does change everything, because once they do the whole Monarch anti-Titan agency coming after Godzilla, taking out Hollow Earth, or trying to then submitting to the Titans, they can't really do that storyline again. And we know, based on the information that was out from the previous director, it was going to be more dark and gritty, and he hinted at Destroyah. He didn't actually hint at Destroyah. He said he would like to do Destroyah. There's a huge difference. And I know I've always said Space Godzilla, but it's a licensing thing. And Space Godzilla, for me, doing that storyline would make the most sense. But we haven't talking about the Monsterverse in a while, so I want to put the video out there. And if this is the actual storyline, it changes everything. Because we've seen an angry, we've seen a dark Godzilla before, not really since the original Godzilla movie back in 2014, let's be honest. But this movie essentially will change everything. It should make the Monsterverse more serious again, rather than having this strange, a little bit too happy-go-lucky storyline that they've had in the previous movie. As much as I liked the New Empire, it was a bit too happy-go-lucky. They need more of a -1 kind of stand, if you ask me. So like always, guys, when I hear even more information, I will put it out there. But as we know, we've had casting information, and we know exactly what they're doing. It does help build the plot, and it does help kind of back up the plot that is out there and the added parts that I put out there. So like always, guys, I will catch you. Who do you want to be the next villain? I know everyone wants Destroyah, but the problem is when we get Destroyah, it's literally endgame for this universe in a roundabout way. So like always, guys, I will catch you in another video very soon, guys. Catch you later.